Okay, in this first video on Inventor Basics, I'm going to take you through drawing this first part and then placing that on a sheet. So we'll look back on this for some dimensions. You get a front and a top view with the dimensions on here. You're going to project front, top, right, and half scale isometric on the sheet when we're all finished. So I'm going to go over to Inventor. The first thing you want to do is to create a new project. I'm going to go up to from the welcome screen here. I'm going to go up to Projects, and then I'm going to say New. A single user project, so I'll hit next, and I'm going to call my project Inventor Basics 2020. If you want to put your name in there, that's fine. Now, by default, this is saving this in Documents, Inventor, and then it's going to create that folder. You want to put this on OneDrive, so you're going to click on the little chooser there. You're going to select OneDrive. You're going to find your Intro to Drafting course. I'm going to put mine in my solid modeling folder, and I'm going to say Make New Folder. So notice how it says New Folder there. So I'm going to call this my Inventor Basics 2020. Okay, and then I'm going to select that folder right there, and I'm going to hit OK. See, I have one from last year in there. I want to check that so it looks like it's in the right position. I'm just going to go into OneDrive and then Classes and then my our course. So I'm going to hit next on that, and I'm going to hit finish. And if I look, I can see this is my current project. You're only going to have default in here, but this is my current project that's selected, so I'm going to hit done. And that's going to allow Inventor to save everything directly to that. So now I'm going to click on, you can click on New up here, or you can go right into Part. If I click on New, it just brings up another menu, and I'm opening up a standard IPT, and that would be the same thing if you clicked on Part there. And notice that it is going into my Inventor Basics project folder. So I'm going to hit Create. First thing I'm going to do, if I look up top, it says mine is Part 3. I had some other parts open earlier today. I'm going to go ahead and save this. So when I go to save, it should go automatically to my Inventor Basics folder because we have that set up as a project. All right, and I'm going to save this. It's important that when you save this, it is going to be by the name of the part. So this one's called Extrude, and I'm going to use all caps because that's going to get popped into my title block later on. All right, so I'm going to put my cap locks on and just type in Extrude as my part name, and then I'll hit save. Now I'm ready to start drawing. We'll take one last look at this, but I'm going to start with a 3x2 rectangle, and then I'm going to extrude that to a height of 1, and then we'll go back through and we're going to cut in this little rectangle here. So I'm going to go up to Start 2D Sketch, and I'm going to select a plane to work on. I'm going to begin with the rectangle tool. I'm going to lock into my origin. Notice the green dot. I'm going to drag this out, and then I'm going to type in my value. So I'm going to say 2, and then tab will get me to the other value, 3, enter. So I'll zoom out there. Now if you didn't do that and you just drew a rectangle, and you could add dimensions. So let's say I didn't have a dimension on that one. I could go to dimension, I could dimension this line, and then I can tell it that I want it to be 3, and it'll make it the correct size for me. So I'm going to finish my sketch at this point. I'm going to go to the extrude tool, and it is extruded 1 inch, which is already there, and I'm going to hit OK. Now we're going to cut that little rectangle in the top. So if we look back at this little cutout, it's a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch off the edges, and then it's 1 inch wide, 1/2 inch thick there, and it gets cut in 3/8 of an inch. So we'll go back to our CAD drawing. I'm going to create a new sketch up on top of this, and then I'm going to draw in my rectangle. So I'm going to say, okay, it's about from here to here. Notice I didn't type anything in this time. I'm going to add my dimensions now. So I'm going to click on that line. I'm going to say this is 1 inch, and then I'm going to click this line to this line, tell it this is 0.5, and I'll do the same thing from here to here, also 0.5, and then this line is also going to be 0.5. So now I have that positioned correctly. I can finish my sketch, and I can go to Extrude, select that, it pre-selected it for me. Now notice it wants to build it. Right now it's green. If I go into Cut, or if I flip my direction, it should update that. Now notice I flipped my direction, it's still outlined in green. So I'm going to go to the Cut tool, and I'm going to put in my distance of 0.375, so we're just cutting that pocket down partially, and we'll hit OK. Now if you messed anything up here, you can go and you can edit your extrusion. So with a right click, I can edit that extrusion. If I didn't put the right number in there, I could change that. Now, before we go over, I want this plane here to be my front view. So I'm going to use my view cube, which you can kind of free orbit with. But I'm going to click on this. Mine says right. Yours might say something different. And then I'm going to right-click on the word right, and I'm going to say set current view as front. That's just going to make it easier later on when we bring this onto the sheet. So then I'm going to hit save again, and we've already named it, so saving is just updating it. Now we need the sheets that you're going to create. So if you go back to 3.1, there is Inventor Basics title block. So I'm going to download that, and then I'm going to open it up. So it'll take a minute to load here. This has all the sheets set up for you. So extrude will go here. We double click, revolves the next one, and coil and so forth. Now, this is currently saved in my downloads folder. We want to get this in the project folder before we do anything else. So I'm going to do a file save as, and I'm going to look, in my OneDrive, and then I had that in classes, intro to drafting. Mine was in a different folder. And then I'm looking for Inventor Basics 2020. I want to make sure it goes in there. So I'm going to hit save on that. If you wanted to update the name of this, maybe you put your last name here in the file name. It's just important that it goes in the correct folder. So now it's right here. If I were to go to open, I should see the Extrude and the Inventor Basics title block inside of there. All right, but I already have it open. And we are going to go to base view. Now it automatically selected my front view of that part because I currently have it open. If you have multiple parts open, you'll have to select the document that you want. So you go into the browse and you would click on, in this case, extrude, and hit open. Now, the default right now is scale 1:1. We want that. So it has my front view, and that is specified because I told it to be the front view in that file. Now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to project my top view. I'm going to left click and project my right view, and then I'm also going to project an isometric by going up at an angle. Once I have those, I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit OK. And now I can take these, notice they are chained together. I can bring these over and I can start to add some dimensions. But before I do that, I'm going to do a couple things to this file. Now notice down here where it says drawn by, it brought in my username. It brought in the date the file was created. It brought in the part's name, so that's why it was important we did that in all caps. We will have to update the project number, which will be 2020.01. It's our first project of the year. And as noted for scale means that it is important that you don't delete this. This tells me that the extrude is scale 1:1. That's our part name. Now this isometric, we are going to right click on that. So notice how I got like a little dashed red line around there. Once you get to that, you're going to right click and you're going to go edit view. In edit view, we are going to turn this so it's in color. We are going to put on the view label. So you're going to hit this little light bulb. You're going to call it extrude because that's what the part name is in all caps. And we're going to change the scale to half scale. And we're going to click on that's going to put a little label underneath there. So I'm going to hit OK. Notice we have the extrude label again. This is half scale because that's a different size. That's important. I'm going to put that up in the corner. And then we're going to start to apply some dimensions here. So right now I'm in the Place Views tab. I'm going to go to the Annotate tab, and then I'm going to start to put a couple dimensions on here. Now this program has a nice tool called Baseline. So if I click, so I'm just left clicking these items, and then I right click Continue, it's going to make a baseline set for me. Now notice when I get it to a certain location, they go dashed. That is the correct offset from the part. So I'm going to place that, and then I'm going to hit Create. And I can also do another baseline set for this direction. So right click Continue, bring those in until they flash there, and then right click Create. So there's our baseline set. That gets me almost everything. I do need the height of my object, so I'll just go to a regular dimension there, and in this case we will be dimensioning to a hidden line. So we will have to do that. So I'm going to pull this out. That lines up nice with this set of dimensions. This is going to come up every time if you do not unselect Edit Dimension when created. So I'm going to uncheck that. And then I'm going to place one more dimension here. And I'm going to line that up right there on that dashed line. That's all the dimensions I need for this. You can always look back at the instruction sheet. And if you want to print this out, you can make things easier. but just take a look, like how many dimensions do I have on here. Now, one thing you should notice is this says 0.375, and over on Inventor this says 0.38. So we're going to update our dimension style, or our precision. If we're just doing it on one dimension, we can right click on that. I'm going to hit escape to get out of that. I can right click and I can go to precision, and I can tell it to go out to 3 decimal places. But I actually want to edit all of them, so we're going to edit our dimension style. And this is going to bring up a menu here that's going to allow us to change a few things. So I'm going to go precision. We'll go 4 decimal places. We're going to display no trailing zeros, no leading zeros, and that's probably all we're going to need to do here. So we're going to hit save and close. Notice how that updated. Got rid of the extra zeros, and it made this 0.375. Now, we're going to edit this title block here. So you will have to open up this little folder here. This is drawing resources, and then you're going to open up title blocks, and there's one called use this one. You're going to right click on that and go to edit, and all you're going to do is double click here, and you're going to edit the text. So you're going to put in 2020, and this is your first project of 2020. That's why it says .01. Everything else here is driven. So these are driven values based upon the sheet and the part. So we're going to hit finish sketch on that, and you're going to hit yes to save. Notice that will update. When you go to all your other sheets, that'll already be updated. As you place views on those will also update. The last thing we need to do is to edit our layers. Remember, in engineering drawing, everything will traditionally be printed in black and white, but we're going to edit some layers here to make some things pop for us. So we're going to go into edit layers. And again, I am in the annotate tab right now. I'm still in there from adding my dimensions. So if you were back in place views, you go to annotate and edit layers. And then we're going to update a couple colors here. So we have hidden lines. I'm going to change those to green. Hidden arrow also to green. I'm going to change the dimension layer to red like we had in AutoCAD. And I'm also going to change the symbol layer to red. That's what it uses for whole notes. And center lines and center marks, we're changing those to blue like we had in AutoCAD. And then I'm going to hit save and close. Sometimes you got to zoom in and out for that to pop on there, but you see now your hidden lines are green, dimensions are red. Notice the notes out here are also red, and that should be kind of right in the middle. So your next part is revolve. I'll do a quick video on that one. I do want you to be looking for view placement. If you look at the samples presentation here, this will show you what I'm expecting for view placement. So take a look at that. So for the next one, we're going to be doing a half section. I'll make a quick video towards the end of that one as well.